Well, I honestly thought it would not end like this, but I guess I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'm going to start off by saying the absolute last thing I wanted to do was to make this video. I didn't even think about making this video until yesterday. It is August 26th, 2025. I have been absent. If you are someone that watches Tomato King Raw or Uber Anonymous Raw, you know I haven't posted in a couple of months. And there are comments about what's going on my Discord channel. There are people asking about it, and I don't want to address them because I don't know what to do. And I'm losing this fight. I'm going to explain why I haven't posted in a couple of months. I would ask that if you have been a rider of mine while driving for Uber, that you watch this video. I'm just a struggling guy, and there's something about it, about strangers really admitting everything that's going on. It's just easier to do when you're never going to see the person again, or if you don't deal with them on a day-to-day basis. I've noticed this with Uber. I've noticed this with Tomato Kings. There's a certain bond we have with not knowing each other. And this is me pouring out what's going on. I never wanted to be in this weak position. I'm in it, and it's undeniable. I believe in wearing your scars, whatever's happening. I think you should be 100% transparent about it, as public as possible. So I'm going to tell you what's been going on and what I've been dealing with and what I think I can do about it, which is next to nothing. But I ask you to watch this video. Look at me and watch this video. Don't put it on your dashboard when you're driving from job to job and just overhear it. Don't watch this video while you're cooking. For me, because I'm pouring myself out here, please just watch this video. It's almost certainly the last video I'm ever gonna make for either channel, and that fucking breaks my heart like you wouldn't believe. But I think I'm out of options, and I don't think I have a choice. The reason I haven't posted in the last 2 months for either channel has a story, and I am going to be as transparent as anyone could be. This same video is going to go up on Tomato Kings Raw and Uber Anonymous Raw. I don't know where you came from, but they do intertwine. 5 years ago, I was driving for Uber, and I went on YouTube to look up Uber drivers to learn how to be a better Uber driver, to make money faster, to see if I could turn it into a career. Very quickly, I realized that the crazy things that I see on Uber on YouTube, I'm seeing in real life. I'm seeing better content, and my goal was to create a YouTube channel to show the things that I see driving for Uber. And that's what I did. I tried to learn how to edit and everything like that, and I couldn't push out a video a week because I suck at editing and I'm too busy. So I gave it up after maybe 15 videos. I never published a video of an actual ride. I published snippets and things like that, but I never got a chance to actually do what I wanted to do, and I gave it up. maybe 2021, I got involved in a game called DayZ, and I definitely lost myself to it. This was during a time that Uber, at least in Florida and Texas, I was making $300 or $400 a day, like 8-hour days, and I was able to play this video game as much as I wanted, drink every day if that's what I wanted, and still make enough money to survive, like 2 to 3 grand a month. Just, I'm gonna be honest, being a degenerate. And that's what I did. I didn't grind 40, 50, 60 hours a week and make killer money. I worked 15 to 20 hours a week making $1,000. And I gave my life to this game, DayZ, which is more than a game if you've played it before. If you haven't, I mean, I get it. It sounds ridiculous. My brother just lost his 10-year relationship where he was engaged, and he was broken, as one would be after that. And I was doing very well. I had him move in with me, and I paid for everything for about 10 months. When I say everything, everything, all the bills, all the weed, all the alcohol, which was me, all the food, everything. And when he got a 6-figure job and started paying me back, I made the degenerate decision that what I would do is I would spend my nest egg, I guess, and use his $1,200 to $1,500 a month he was paying me to just do nothing and play the game. And I lost myself to it. I lost myself to the game for sure. I stopped working, and before I knew it, I was like 4 months in debt. And I felt like it was 4 weeks, to be honest. I felt like it was 4 weeks. I don't know why that I stopped working and stopped being the man, the real man that I was. But I did, and I kind of forced my family to take care of me. And a year or so, not a year, 8-10 months went by, and my mother came in town from Illinois, and they snapped me out of it and just said, you got to do better than this. Like, we're tapped out taking care of you. And I decided, with their help, of course, to start working again. And I drove my mom to the airport, and I turned on my Uber app, and I started driving after somewhere between 8 months and a year of me being a degenerate, to be honest. The very first ride that I took after dropping my mom off at the airport, my white Hyundai Genesis, which is on a video on Uber Anonymous, got totaled. An above ground sewer destroyed the undercarriage of my car, and it got totaled. And I was going to get a $17,000 payout for my car from the city because their street destroyed my car. And my car was only worth like $4,000 because it had 375,003 miles, but they didn't look at the mileage. So I was waiting on that $17,000 payout. 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks, 4 weeks turned into 6, turned into 8. But I was still like, it's 17 grand. Like, another degenerate move. I can just day drink, play my video game, and that's it, and wait for this money. And 3 months turned into 3.5 months, and then the city said they weren't going to pay me. So the city operates on a negligence rule or law or whatever, but basically means if your vehicle is damaged or destroyed by the streets, they will pay for it so long as it is not the first offense. So if there's damage reported on that street to a vehicle, then they will pay you because that's negligent of them to not have fixed it before it damaged your vehicle. The intersection in question, the sewer lid in question, they said that they were going to pay me out because that had damage reported before. But 3.5 months in, they found out that the sewer that my car got destroyed on was 100 feet further than what they had thought, so they're not going to pay me out. So as disappointed as I was, I decided to tail tuck and go to like a buy here, pay here to like get a car and start making payments. But if you If for 3.5 months of being unemployed, if you do not have proof of income at all, it doesn't matter how bad your credit is, you're not getting a car. So I fell into a depression again. I didn't know that's what it was at that time. And I worked for, I'm going to call him a day laborer. He was giving me $140 a day, but he was a pillhead. So there would be like 3 days of work and then wouldn't hear from him for like 8 days and that kind of thing. So I made very minimal money. And about 8 months later, I was finally able to get a loan from my mom to be able to get a car, the one I'm driving today, the tan Kia Soul, which looks white. And this was March of 2024. And I decided to kick alcohol, which I was, while I was playing video games, I was drinking every day. It's unhealthy, but I managed it, which is unhealthy. But I, drank every day, played games, that kind of thing. And I had been posting every day, but these were videos on Tomato Kings that I was posting of my old gameplay that I just wanted to save. Don't care if anybody watched it. I just couldn't keep it on my hard drive anymore. So since March 2024, I was doing very well. I was drinking maybe once every 2 weeks, if not less. I was paying back debts. I was working again. I remembered how much I loved driving for Uber. And then about May, I met the old love of my life. I'm 40 now. I was 39 then, I guess. And I had dated this girl 6 years before, and she was in love with me, and I was in love with her. I just didn't know it. And I blamed myself for how it ended, but she went back to her home country. She lived in Czech Republic. She lived in America, but her home country is Czech Republic. She hadn't been there for a year. She went back there, and she never came back. And that was the end. And I never got any real closure, and I just carried on. Well, we met again in late April, early May, and upon our first interaction together, we realized that we were still hopelessly in love with each other. And I was really healthy, and I wasn't drinking, and I was driving for Uber, and everything seemed to be great. And her and I dated for a while, and we wanted to get married and have kids. Only girl I ever wanted that with in my whole life. I was ready to give up my bachelor life. I was ready to not be drinking whenever I wanted and do whatever I wanted, and to live like a fucking adult, to be honest. Me and this girl were so in love that her grandma was convinced that this was the rest of our life, and she was going to give us a $300,000 property that she owned. This girl, Wendy, she had to go back to her country to get some legal things figured out so that way she could come back to the United States and get married and all that good stuff. And for a few weeks while she was in Czech Republic, her and I texted, without exaggeration, 100 times a day. We were completely in love like kids. And then it started to fade. Now, at this time, I had started posting videos of Tomato King Raw, the video game, of me no longer playing, but being an admin watching the adventures of other players. And within 45 days, the channel got monetized, and I was making $350 a month. And I thought it could actually turn into something when all I was doing was offloading videos for my members to see. Now, early June, my girl Wendy started to go cold on me. We stopped talking so much. She didn't have time to video me or anything like that when she was the one begging me to go on a video call every day, which I was excited to. I literally saw the rest of my life with this girl. When she was there and I was here, I would walk into my front door and without thinking, hold the door for her when she wasn't even here, just expecting her to be a part of my life. I was really looking forward to the rest of my life being the happiest that I could ever imagine on an hourly basis. This was what I spent 40 years doing, was waiting for her. That's how I felt. End of June, I was like, you're not paying attention to me. You're not, I asked her 3 questions. I said, are you still in love with me? She said, yes. This is on video call. Our dream was to be married and spend the rest of our lives together. Is that still your dream? She said, yes. I said, do you want to put things on hold until you get back to America? Or do you want to, and she said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep things going. So I said, you're hurting me the way that you're just not paying attention to me, and you're not loving me the way that you used to love me, the way I'm used to. She broke down in tears, ended the call, didn't talk to me for 4 days, and then told me she does in fact want to take a step back. Barely explained it. I thought she was breaking up with me. I told her grandma she broke up with me. Her grandma told me Wendy doesn't want to break up with you. I tried talking to Wendy. I fucking begged her in video calls, in messages, things she wouldn't answer, and she would not respond to me for over 20 days. After 20 days, it happened to be one of our month anniversaries, and I was like, I want to celebrate this, but I don't even know if we're together. What's going on? And she said we were broken up. So I didn't understand that, but I hung on. She said, let's just wait until I get back to America, and we'll let fate be fate, and we'll just wait until we can do this. I accepted that. This was late July of 2024. With very minimal communication, on August 22nd, 2024, which is my birthday, she told me that she has been seeing another man for several weeks. And I did not know how to take that. It fucking devastated me because I thought my life was over in a positive way. I thought the rest of my life was on the perfect happiness of autopilot that any man could ever ask for, ever. I begged her to talk to me about this. She wouldn't talk to me about it. I told her I would make a video and for her to respond. She said she would. I know she didn't because it's an unlisted link, and YouTube analytics says only one person has watched that video for 12 minutes, and it happens to be a female between the ages of 25 to 35 in the Czech Republic. Like, it's her. She didn't watch it. And so now I had no feedback. Now, drinking wise, prior to this date, I drank very differently. It's not healthy, but I would drink almost every day. I would drink when I'm having fun, and then maybe I would have a smoke when I used to smoke. I would eat a little bit, I'd go to sleep, no big deal, go to work, repeat, and that's how I did things. But from this point on, I started treating alcohol very, very differently. The way I would drink, the numbers of shots that I would drink, I still to this day do not know how I was capable of doing that. This is like 30 to 40 shots worth of vodka in 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, and I would pass out, whether it was in my chair or on the couch or whatever, and I wasn't functional. I was binge drinking 5 to 10 days in a row, and then I would snap out of it and be like, oh shit, I gotta go to work, I gotta make money, and then I would work for 5, 10, 15 days, and I'd repeat this cycle. And this was August of 2024. About middle to end of September, I was coming out of one of these 5 to 10 day drinking binges, like, holy shit, I gotta go to work. And Florida happened to get hit by a double hurricane. And if I don't have gas, I can't do my job because I drive Uber full time. Because of my previous decisions and because of the lineup of the hurricanes, I was so far in debt, I knew that I needed to make a change. So between October of 2024 and April 2025, I did struggle. I did fall back into alcohol from time to time. And I did make money, and I tried to make progress, but I'd make an incredible amount of progress, and then I'd set myself back with this drinking problem that I now knew that I did not have control of. On April 19th of 2025, my brother hit me straight. Now, I'm not trying to push religion on anybody. I'm just simply telling you the things that I went through. But my brother made it obvious to me that I had never put God first, and that is extremely important to me. He made it clear that I am seeking validation through my Uber Anonymous channel and my Tomato Kings Raw channel. And I always put that first. I would go to work late, or I would not do my devotions, or I would not go to church, if it meant putting out videos. And I realized that I had never fully submitted to God, and I had decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize God, and everything else comes last, whether it's work or videos or whatever. And I decided to stop prioritizing YouTube videos, which I had been putting out every day for both channels for over a year. Now, since April 2019, I did put out videos, but it was always on the back burner. So it would be, sometimes I would miss 3, 4, 5 days, and then I would spend 2 days making 10, 12 videos, 6 for each channel. I'd schedule them out, and then we'd have videos for a week. I was really happy knowing that I did get some videos out. It wasn't the way I wanted. It wasn't every day like I wanted, but I was becoming healthier. I was paying back my debts. I was drinking less and less, and I was getting support from my church. And I was, honestly, I was getting a closer and closer relationship with my Lord. And then towards the middle of May, if not the end of May, I contracted pneumonia, and I didn't know it was pneumonia. My whole family knows this joke that I can never be killed because I have spent 40 years fighting through sicknesses, like not even real sicknesses. Like the rest of the world calls out of work and has to go to the doctor, and I just fight through it. I don't even quit drinking, smoking. I don't change my habits. Maybe I'll take vitamin C, but I just power through it, and I'm over it. So that's what I thought this was. The sickness got worse and worse. I could barely work. I would get 3-4 hours into work and I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd have to go home early, and this was a cycle, and sometimes it was days, until I met a guy that I picked up from the emergency room driving for Uber, and he told me his story of why he's in the emergency room. You guys know, if you watch Uber Anonymous, that I ask a wild out-of-pocket amount of questions just to figure it out, and people tend to be very transparent, and all his side effects were side effects that I was going through, and I realized that I have pneumonia. I am, at the time, I know this sounds extreme, even though me personally, I haven't dealt with this before, so I thought it was just an extreme version of me being negligent of my own body, but I was coughing up particles of blood. I was coughing for hours and hours while I was trying to go to sleep, and if you know anything about pneumonia, that phlegm and all that buildup, you need to be active, you need to be standing up. When you're laying down, that's when you die. That's when you can die from pneumonia. And I was going through the worst parts of that. And this guy that I just picked up from the emergency room was explaining this to me. And I realized that what brought him to the emergency room, I fought through, and I shouldn't have, because it could have killed me. I had pneumonia for about 6 weeks, and about 4 weeks, I may as well not have been working. I tried to work, but I couldn't do it. During this period of time, my insurance company told me that my insurance was lapsing, and if I don't take care of it by X date, which was in June, that my license would get suspended. So I figured, all right, well, I've got time. All I got to do is pay $300 towards insurance, because it's expensive when you drive for Uber. And that was my focus. And I got better, and I started driving. And 2 days after driving, my car broke down. The 2 days of money that I just made had to be paid for a tow back to my house, almost $300. And I didn't know what to do. I had no money for a mechanic or anything like that. So I enrolled in a program called Snap Finance, which is basically a credit card for mechanic work and some other things. It cost me $2,300. It was a catalytic converter and a few other things. And I went on a $100 a week payment plan, so that way I could get back to driving. Now, the biggest problem with breaking down when you drive for Uber is the fact that you're not making money. So if you don't drive for Uber, if your car breaks down, you call an Uber to get you to work. I couldn't do that. I was effectively unemployed, and it took 9 days for my car to get fixed. I dropped it off on a Friday night, which they weren't open. They don't work the weekends. So I picked it up 9 days later on a Monday morning. I lost 9 days of pay on top of $2,300 after me already being in debt. So now my license is suspended and I have no insurance. Now, I know this is a shitty move, but I was panicking, and the only way I knew how to make money was to drive. So I was crossing my fingers that I wouldn't get pulled over and I wouldn't get into a car accident. And I was just hoping that I would be able to get 6 or 7 days worth of work to be able to pay for my insurance and my suspended license. While I was so in debt with my landlord that I made a deal with him that I would pay him $100 a day, which is $3,100 a month, even though my rent is only $1,400, to try to like double pay back. So a lot of people in Tomato Kings have heard me say, oh, I'm only 10 days away, 9 days away, 15 days away. I fucking believed that, and that was my only hope to get out of this. Mid-June, I realized that I have a financial problem that I need to do whatever I can to work through. And although in the last couple of months I've been posting videos whenever I could, I realized I need to shut this shit down. And I need to not make videos, and I need to work every day, and I need to not drink, and I need to go to church, and I need to work out, and I need to change my life. So I talked to my staff in Jexus and KJ for Tomato Kings Raw, and I asked them to handle this. I thought it was only going to be a couple of weeks, and it wasn't. I didn't post for Tomato Kings since June 21st, and I didn't post for Uber Anonymous since the 24th of June. I saw my financial situation, I saw what I was capable of doing, and I knew that what I had to do was not focus on anything but working and paying off the $100 a day and working 12, 13 hours, 13 and a half hours, sometimes Uber would let me, and I gotta pay this off, and hopefully by the end of July, I will be close to in the green. I still had debt, but I knew that I was going to be pretty close to the first positive time financially in the last 2 years, if not 3. Now, come the beginning of August 2025, I really wanted my birthday, August 22nd, to be the first positive birthday I've had in a while. And I wanted to get to the point where I knew I still owed for July, and now it's August, so obviously I owe for August. But by August 20th, I would have 10 to 11 days to be able to pay for September. And it's possible that the beginning of September, I will owe nothing and I will be healthy. After the first week of August, I realized, oh shit, every year with Uber, well, this is anybody in the United States, but you have to get your registration renewed in your birthday month. Now, with Uber specifically, because they check on my insurance, registration, license, all that they were going to cut me off from driving for Uber on my birthday, like on the 12:01 a.m. minute of my birthday. And I realized, okay, so I'm going to have to get registration, which I know I have to pay tolls. I've done this for 6 years. I got to pay my tolls to be able to not have my registration blocked. So I'm going to have to figure out what those amounts are, and I'm going to have that on top of being able to pay my rent. So I'm not going to be in the green on August 22nd for rent, but I will still allow myself to be able to work for Uber, and I'll just be that much more behind, like I've conquered more than that before, so I can do this. I needed $300 for insurance. I need $256 to get my license reinstated. So that's $550. So now I got to figure out my tolls. I called the toll companies. One of them was Central Florida for like $8 because I never go to Central Florida. And the rest of the tolls were in Tampa, which were $650, which I'm only used to like a couple $100 because I didn't work that much because I made so much more money, and I just worked half weeks, 20 hours, 15 hours a week, and got those tolls. $450 of those tolls were in collections, which they told me was blocking my license. The other 230 were not blocking my license, but they would go into collections on August 26th, which is today, and once they went into collections, my registration would be blocked. But they told me that if I paid the $450, that my registration wouldn't be blocked. I could get my registration, and then yes, those other amounts would go into collections, which I don't like because that hurts my credit, but it wouldn't stop me from being able to earn a daily income. So now, on top of me paying $100 a day for rent, and try to make up for the amount that I owe. I owe $250 for my license, $300 for insurance, and $450 for the tolls, which I was able to barely squeak by and get by Thursday, August 21st. I've been paying the landlord $100 a day. I paid the $300 insurance. I paid the $450 in tolls. And then the toll company told me because the amount is in collections, it's going to take 5 to 7 days to reflect to the DMV. So I won't have my registration released to be able to renew until that 5 to 7 day period of time, which was the 27th tomorrow and the 29th at the latest, which is Friday. So as devastating as that was to me, I thought, you know what? At least it's done. Let me just take a hiatus. They're shutting my fucking account down on my birthday. Maybe I could just have a birthday then and just enjoy myself and get through the weekend, which was so boring because I was so used to working 13 hours a day, coming home, sleeping 6 hours, working out for 2 hours, and no time for anything. And now I have all the time in the world. I hurt my shoulder, so I couldn't work out. I couldn't go to work, and I'm just sitting at home and accepting the fact that I'm about ready to have the answers to all of my prayers, if you will, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever the registration got released. Now, a couple of kickers is that Snap Finance that I was mentioning about the credit card for mechanic work. They were charging me $100 a week. Now, I have not had $100 in my account for the last 3 weeks because all of the money I'm making, if I'm making $160, $170, $180 in 12 hours working for Uber, $100 is going to my landlord, $30 is going to gas, and I have like 30 or 40 left to live on, so I can barely save up money. Now, between the end of May to the end of August is the worst amount of money that you can make as an Uber driver when you drive the graveyard shift, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. I thrive on the drinking crowd, and 30 to 40% of my money is dependent on the college kids. And when they are not in school, they do not drink. So this is year round. This is the worst time for me to drive, and I'm doing my best, but I never have $100 in my account. So when Snap tries to hit me for $100, my account goes negative, and then the next day it gets rejected. Now, if I'm running my card at like a gas station or a store or something like that, then my account goes negative. I get hit with negative fees, and the seller gets their money. But when it comes to a credit agency, that's not how it works. So if the credit agency tries to hit my account and there's no money in it and my account goes negative, it gets rejected. So I still owe that money to Snap Finance. 2.5 weeks ago, the $100 payment got rejected, so I still owe that money to Snap Finance, but it wasn't charged to me. 1.5 weeks ago, I got charged again for $200. It went negative, got rejected, so I still owe that money. But because I wasn't working, I wasn't used to the fact that I have more than $100 in my account. And on the third week, which was last Saturday, the 23rd, my account got hit for $300 when I had $360 in my account for my license to be able to get whenever this payment clears. So I went from $360 to $60. That's all I have. And then the worst thing possible, I realized that this $230 remaining toll balance that was going to go into collections on the 26th, if it went into collections and I paid it, I'd have to wait another 5 to 7 days before I'd be able to drive for Uber. That will kill me. That will be lethal to everything I'm trying to do. I waited for Monday to roll around, the 25th, so that way I could call the toll company and explain my situation and be like, my job is Uber. Please delay this payment going into collections for 1 week. If you don't do that, then I won't be able to get my registration. I won't be able to work for Uber. I won't be able to pay this payment. I was hoping that maybe I could convince them to delay my payment for 1 week so that way I could drive for Uber. And then what I thought was the worst news wasn't the worst news. This was the worst news. They explained to me that they are SunPass. SunPass is a private company that basically procures toll charges. And if you sign up with them, you get a window decal that you can stick in your windshield. You prepay that amount. And when you drive through tolls, you pay about 25% less on the tolls. But they told me that they have nothing to do with registration holds. The $400 that I paid towards SunPass and the $230 that I had not paid yet has nothing to do with holds on your registration that I need to call the Tampa Interstate System, whatever it's called. They gave me the phone number to call, and I said, this is the number that I'm on right now. I looked at my phone. I'm like, the number that's active right now is your number. And they said, oh, you must have pressed a button to go to the department where you have an invoice. And I said, yeah, that's what I did. And they said, yeah, that transfers you to SunPass. We have nothing to do with your registration holds. What you need to do is you need to call that number back, and you need to wait through all the options and just stay on the line, and you will get an operator, and you'll talk to the people that are actually, exercising a hold on your registration. So I did that, hoping to God that it wasn't a big amount, but I talked to the Tampa Interstate System, and they told me that I owe $663 and that there's no way for me to get my license fixed without paying that amount. I tried thinking about, what if I sell my car and then buy another car at a buy here, pay here to avoid the tolls so that way I can work. Can't do it that way because you can't buy a car without a valid license on payments. You can't buy a car on payments without a valid license. So now I got to pay $663. Then I got to pay $256 to be able to get my license reinstated. Then I got to pay $80 to get my registration. Then I could buy a car or drive for Uber or whatever. I have $19 left. I have borrowed from my friends. I have tried to defer payments. I have done everything I can to try to get my job back. And even if I got another job and I started today, I wouldn't get paid for 2 or 3 weeks. I am not giving up because it's so hard and I just got to give up. I'm a realist and I don't know what to do. I haven't given my landlord anything for the last week. I have bills that are going to shut off my power in the next week. I have been forced to face the fact that I am going to lose my house. I am going to lose my car. Like, I own my car, but if I can't pay $1,100 to be able to use my car, I may as well sell it. And if I'm losing my place, I'm going to have to post a Craigslist ad that says something like, I'm losing my house, come walk through it and buy whatever you want. Like, I can't take this stuff with me. I can't take this stuff with me. It's either going to be owned by my landlord when I get evicted, or I'm going to have to sell it. And I don't have a place to live. My brother is living in a 600 square foot place with him, his wife, and his kid. I don't have any good friends that have more than a 1 bedroom. My dad lives in 3 or 4 places across the country a week at a time. My mom is going through a divorce where she's going to have to find a place to live in maybe the next few weeks. I don't have a way to make money. Like, sure, I can donate plasma and sure, I can find day labor. That's true, but it won't be enough to save my house or my job or anything. KJ, my partner with Tomato King Raw, yeah, he hit me straight and said, it's always been 15 days. It's always 9 days. It's always 10 days. Like, yeah, because I believed it, because I've been this fucking close. And I honestly thought 2 days ago, it being the 26th now of August, I thought I was going to make it. I thought I was there. I thought all I had to do was suffer through this a little bit more. And it's not true. And I'm trying to survive the best I can, but I'm out of options. Literally my only option left, which if I have to do it, I have to do it. I went to my church and I asked them for the funds, and I showed them the proof that in July I made $3,400, which isn't great, but it's more than I need to be able to survive if I didn't have debt. I asked them for the $1,100, and I don't blame them. I'm just not the demographic of person that gets their funds. Like, they spend their funds every month on people that need it. And I'm a 40-year-old white single male with no kids, able-bodied. Like, they got 75-year-olds on dialysis on an $800 a month Social Security income. They've got 12-year-olds that are waiting for a kidney transplant and they need medical support. I'm not the guy, so I don't blame them for not being able to support me. My only option is to go into a program called U-Turn for Christ, which I think is a very good thing for anybody to do if they have the time, experience, and dedication to do it. Because what it is an 8-month live-in program, no cell phones, no car, no none of this. And, also no overhead, no rent, no phone bill, no nothing. You don't have to worry about anything. But I have to give up everything I have for 8 months, which is car, phone, house, stuff, all of that. And then I'll have to start life over, which, if this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do. Like, I don't have any other options. If I had $1,100 today, right now, I'd be going to the DMV, I'd be paying all these debts, and I'd be driving today. Well, maybe not today, because Uber takes a little bit of time to process all the paperwork. But in 1 week, I'm going to have another $400 or so worth of bills, like power and water and things like that. So in 1 week, I will need $1,500, $1,600. In 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, I'm going to owe rent for September. So I'm going to need $3,000. I don't know what to do. And I feel like I have done everything I possibly could. I've worked as much as I could with minor fuck ups. Yes, I've drank. Like, I've allowed myself to drink on Saturday mornings when I come home from a 12-hour shift to go play a Dinosaur Daisy server, drinking with one of my friends at 5 a.m. But I can't buy the alcohol at 5 a.m. on a Saturday. So I buy it on a Friday night, and I think, oh, well, I'll just have a couple of drinks. I'll let that wear off, and then I'll move on, and then I'll go to work. And that was a bad decision, because I continue drinking, and then I blow Friday, and then it's Saturday, so I'm drinking with my friend, and I drink too long, because, yeah, I'm a fucking alcoholic that I'm trying to fucking survive, and I'm trying to fight through this. And then I blow Friday and Saturday, and I look at my degenerate self, and I'm like, how the fuck did I give away $400 to $500 because of alcohol, because of $30 worth of alcohol? How did I do that? Yes, I've made that mistake. Yes, I have. Is it rare? Yeah, it's an acceptable amount of rare, but by the time that I chose to fix this problem on April 19th and on, it's just too late. Like, life is getting in the way, and that's true. And if my car didn't break down and I didn't have these other problems like insurance, would I have made it? Yes, I would have. But I completely own my situation, where if I didn't fuck up for the year before that, would that have been a problem? No, it wouldn't have. Like, this isn't life beat me down. It's just bad timing. And that's the way life works. Life waits for no man. And if I had gotten my shit together earlier than April 19th, and these life problems like the car breaking down and the insurance and the license, if this would have happened, would I be able to solve those problems? Yes. Yes, I admit it. I would not have these problems if I didn't cause these problems for myself the year before. I admit that. But the other part of me is like, but look at the progress you made. You're drinking once a week, if not once every 2 weeks. You're working 60-hour weeks at least, which I could work more. I'm paying back my debts. I'm fighting through these battles, and I'm almost there, but it doesn't matter because it's over. and I don't have another option. And I'm about ready to lose everything that I love. I don't care about my car. I don't care about my house. I don't care about my stuff. I'm actually kind of excited to live without it. What I do love, and this sounds crazy, but I love driving for Uber. It's been the greatest experience of my entire life. Secondarily would be running Tomato Kings. Being a part of that community, video games aside, just ignore that. The people that I have been involved with, the experiences that I have had are second to none. And what I want to do is I want to do my fucking passion, and I want to drive for Uber, and I want to be there for people, and I want to experience these real experiences that are unfucking heard of in this life, in this daily grind of fighting life taking us down. I want to share these Uber experiences with more people, but I can only do one ride at a time. So the only option is to post them on YouTube, which I cherish the ability to do this on top of the community that has been created through KJ and me with Tomato Kings, and be able to share this with people. I want to do that. I'm not going to be able to anymore. I've done everything I can. I can't do this. I can't do it. I have no option to do it. Trust me, the most humbling part about this is what I'm about to say, and I feel like I have no other choice. And that is a GoFundMe. Now, let me preface this by saying, whatever negative things happen to me, I deserve this. I deserve it. I made these choices. I put myself in this scenario. There's nothing else to blame but me. It's just bad timing. Would I have loved for life to keep handing me W's like they did for the last 2 years? Yeah, I would. That's just not how life works. And, life doesn't wake up and say, how can we make Mello's life better? That's not how it works. So I accept the fallout of whatever happens. And maybe this isn't a breakdown. Maybe this is a breakthrough. I'll figure it out at some point. I believe I'm going to lose the most happiness I've ever had in my entire life. And I don't want to lose it. But I've done everything I can. I'm not giving up because I can't take anymore. I'm giving up because I don't know what else to do. And I've got to accept the situation that I'm in. But I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I honestly believe that I have progressed so much that I've made it. It's just not enough time, or it's bad timing. But I feel like I'm so close, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I have to succumb to what's about to happen, and there's nothing I can do to control that anymore. It's not up to my plan. It's not up to my work. I'm here, and I have to accept that. Now, in regards to this GoFundMe, I am 24 hours away from telling my landlord, hey, I'm gonna create an exit strategy. I'm gonna try to sell off my stuff. I'm gonna try to give you as much money as I can, but I can't support this. I'm ready to throw in the towel. But with this GoFundMe, if you think I'm being ridiculous, or you think I'm being pathetic, or if you think I'm just another YouTuber grifting, by all means, do not help me. Do not help me. I'm posting the same video on Uber Anonymous Raw channel and my Tomato Kings Raw channel. If you think that I didn't start all of this for you, then you must not know me. I love you guys, and I know a lot of YouTubers talk about parasocial relationships, which, if you don't know what that is, that's me being a YouTuber and you watching enough of my videos where you think you know me and you think we're friends and all that kind of thing. Like, here's the difference, is there's a lot of YouTubers that post videos that they never know any of their people. That's not what this is. I literally love you guys, the people that have gotten a chance to know me. Uber Anonymous, if there are any people watching this that you were my passengers, you know I love you. This is why you're following me. This is why we even had the conversation to bring up the fact that I'm doing this for YouTube. Sean, you're my very first subscriber ever. This was, what was it? The day after New Year's 2021. One of the best paying days and hours that I possibly could. I sat in your driveway for 20, 30 minutes just talking about us, dude. Like, I love you. Dorian, I've met 30,000 people with Uber, and I've met 80 people out of 30,000. I've met 80 people twice. I've met 5 people 3 times. You're one of them. The first time I met you, you were a freshman in college, a little fucking party girl, having a great time. The second time I met you was 2 years after, and you were dating a guy for a week, and you weren't putting out, and he was pushing, and you told him, hey, listen, I'm not going to be putting out anytime soon, just so you know. And he called you an Uber to get you the fuck out of there. And your crying, broken ass came into my car, and I didn't remember you, and I just told you that I know you're going through a hard time, and I don't know what it is, but I want to be there for you no matter what, and I care about your scenario, whatever it is. And you told me, I know you. I remember you from 2 years ago. Do you understand that that is the best compliment you could give me, is from 2 years ago? When we were in like a party scenario, you remember me? Like, I love you. And then 2 years, a year later, I met your dad and your sister when you were graduated, and you told them about me, and you remembered me. Like, I love you. Some Spanish girl, I don't remember your name, but you got dosed at a club on July 4th, one of the best paying days possible, and the cops got called, and they were going to arrest you, but they realized that you were dosed, and they put you in my car, and I drove you to the destination, but the destination wasn't the destination it should have been, and you were so drugged up you didn't know what was going on, and I sat with you in a parking lot for 45 minutes trying to learn Spanish, to talk to your brother, to try to tell him where we are so you would be safe. You'll never see this video, even though it's on YouTube. I love you. There were 6 people that were raped. 4 of them were men. 2 of them were women. These are just the people that told me what just happened. I went to the police department off the clock, staying with you, feeding you, hydrating you, just trying to get you to a better place. I love you guys. Some nerdy hot girl I met, she dated a guy that was a fuckboy, and she tried to stay away from him, but after 4 years, she went on a date with him, and he slipped her molly, and she woke up in a 4-way at a strip club, and she got out of this strip club, and because he wouldn't give her a ride, and she came to me and said that she's defiled, that there's nobody in her friends or family that she can ever tell about this, and she wants to be with me in this moment and offload this on me, and we shared this together. And I told her that she's an amazing person and that this is just a bad thing that happened to her. I love you. Like, I'll never talk to you again, but I love you. The people that I have taken in Uber, I love you. And the people that I have yet to take in Uber, I love you too. I just haven't met you yet. Like, we are real people that are dealing with life, and it rains on everybody's skin the same. Today might be your rainy day. Today's definitely my rainy day. But I want to be there for you the way that you have been there for me. Tomato Kings, I love you guys. You know this. You know who I am. You might only know my voice. You don't know my face. But Fenrir, we got into an argument, a personal argument through videos. I'm recording you talking shit to me, and I'm making the video talking shit back to you. We got through that. We are friends now. Cool Rod, if you don't stop talking about that fucking island, dude, move your ass out of there. Like, I have love for you because I've spent so much time with you. Dead Again Dave, I remember when I asked you why you call yourself Dead Again Dave, because you just kept dying with your friends and they're like, Dave's dead again. Like, dude, I remember that shit. Like I was there, like I was in the room with you, but you didn't know my face. You didn't see my face. All you heard was my voice. I'm bonded with you guys. Astasi, Babu, and Shift. Like, guys, I know most of us don't talk, but you in the book of DayZ, Your story is written in red letters in a sea of black letters. You guys will never leave me. There's nothing that could take those experiences away from me. I was born in the love that you guys showed me in Tomato Kings. That was the foundation that allowed me to be able to create a community of people that really cared about each other, even though we don't talk. Hackets, I don't think that there is a phrase that I will ever remember more than the phrase that you've said. And that's how you do it. Like that, dude, that's so funny to me. And we've spent so many conversations together and so many videos together. We are bonded. From Tomato Kings also, Cutie Trap, you, during the double hurricane that I had, you sent me $500 or $400 or $700. I don't remember what it was. And you titled it Mellow Flotation Device. Now, I cannot imagine that you would have sent that to me if we didn't have that 2-hour long conversation, very, very personal conversation that opened both of our eyes. That's a real connection that we had. Now, both Tomato Kings Raw and Uber Anonymous Raw, I do not want anyone to donate to me because I'm in pain. I don't want anybody to do that. I will fight through this. It might not be the way that I want it to be. I might not be able to make YouTube videos. I might not be able to drive for Uber, but I'm going to live on. I don't want you to donate for this reason. If you're going to donate, I want you to donate because I want to be happy. I want to do the things that I want to do. I want to carry on these videos. I want to carry on these communities. With TK, yeah, it's a community that's ongoing where there's plenty of interaction and, on a daily basis where I can stay involved. But on Uber Anonymous, it's not that way. It's one and done. And I get a chance to try to influence these people a little bit. Maybe it's a 19-year-old girl going through her first breakup where her world is ending and I don't have the heart to tell her, like, wait till it happens another 10 more times. Sometimes it's a guy that is running through girls and all he is telling me is that he wants one girl to love him and he wants one girl to love. And he just can't find any of them because they're all ran through. And I got to explain to him, it's because you're running through them, dude. And I get that chance to be able to tell them. And sometimes it's a woman that gets in the car and her husband just died. 35-year-old, super healthy, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke husband, just didn't wake up. And I'm the first guy that she's talking to. Like, sometimes that is the legacy. Sometimes it's just that moment for me to be like, hey, listen, I'm human too. And I'm sorry you're going through this. And I don't want you to go through this. I don't want bad things to happen to good people, but they're going to. And they're happening to you and they're happening to me. They're just different days. So if you're going to donate because you want me to be happy. You want me to be able to do the things that I want to do for the people that I want to do them for. Don't donate because you're saving me. Don't donate because you're giving me a job. Donate because you're allowing me to do things that I fucking love to do. And I don't want to stop doing them, but I accept the fact that I have to. I accept the fact that things are going to change for me very soon. And I'll be fine as soon as it's final. But I can't accept the fact that I didn't do everything I possibly could. And there's a part of me that is like, well, I've got 500 subscribers on Uber Anonymous and I got 3,500-ish on Tomato Kings, and if everybody gave 50 cents, it would be great. Yeah, that's the egotistical side of me. Yeah, I'm fucking be honest. And then there's the other side that's like, dude, you're being so honest that people aren't going to give a shit. Yeah, maybe. But that's the point, is I don't want your help if you think I don't deserve it. And I might not deserve it. I mean, I to be honest, I don't deserve the happiness that I might get. I might have to go through even more trials, and that might be the way that things have to be, and I accept that. If I wake up tomorrow and I have $1,600 to solve all my problems, the level of gratefulness, I don't think I could ever disappoint anybody ever again, including myself, which is most important, is I've disappointed myself. You think if you roast me in these videos like, oh, he's just another degenerate YouTuber, you think that's gonna hurt me as much as I've hurt me in the last year? You're not gonna touch shit compared to the damage I've done to myself. If things go horribly wrong, I'll be the first to say that I 100% deserve them. I 100% deserve them. Do I want those things to happen to me? No, I don't. I want to keep driving for Uber. I want to continue to get healthy. I want to start posting videos again. It fucking breaks my heart that I haven't been able to post for the last 2 months. There is so much stuff that I've wanted to post, but I can't because I just don't have the time, and I've got to focus on me, and this is the end. This is the end, and I don't have another option. And I want you to feel okay with the fact that if I don't get my bailout, that this is not a breakdown. This is a breakthrough. I will survive. Uber Anonymous is dead. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. I won't be able to post. I have nobody to post, and that's it. Now, Tomato Kings, that'll never die. My partner, KJ, who is the one that started this in Adventures Livonia, he's going to continue this on. It just won't be with me, which is okay. I would much rather know the community survives and I can't be a part of it than the alternative. I have the GoFundMe link posted in the description of this video, and it's listed at $3,000. If I had $1,100 today, I would shut the GoFundMe down today because I would be able to pay my way and start working. But if I don't get the $1,100 in the next week, then I will need $1,600 to be able to survive. And if I don't get it in the next 2 weeks, I will need $3,000 to survive. This is why I've put it at $3,000. Now, not to be a shock factor or anything like that, but if I don't get the support within the next 2 weeks, chances are this is the last video that I'm going to post for at least a year. I would assume that after 8 months of getting out of the program, that it would take me several months to be able to have my own place in a car and drive for Uber and things like that, to be able to have free time to be able to do this again. Like, that's the thing about driving for Uber, is it's not a 9-to-5 job. I can work 12, 13 hours for 5 days in a row and have 2 days off any days I want and be able to post videos. I have that freedom. See, most people that are working as plumbers and they want to start a plumbing business, they have to do that on their off hours. And my plumbing hours are actually giving me the content to be able to produce these kinds of things. And those couple of days off, it makes it so much easier for me to be able to do the things that I really want to do. You don't have that in a normal job. And I appreciate the fact that I have this opportunity. I just don't have it anymore. I am a broken person. I will admit that faster than anybody else. And I believe I'm on the right track. I honestly believe that I'm doing better than I ever have before. It's just too late for me to fix my own problems. And the most humbling experience, because I will never take this off the internet, the most humbling experience is the fact that I have to crumble in front of you publicly. For a chance to be happy. And I'm happy with you guys. I'm happy driving for Uber. I'm happy sharing my life with you and you sharing my life with me. And although I know I'm going to survive it, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it with you guys. And I don't know what else to do. I'm just a guy. I'm just a person. And I'm sure a lot of you are suffering in ways way beyond me. And I understand that. I've told people before, like, I understand there's people that haven't eaten in a week in third world countries, but I still get hungry 3 times a day. So if this comes off as pretentious, or you're like, this fucking YouTuber thinks he's... Say whatever you want. I don't care. I wear my scars. And this is the battle I'm going through. And these are the things that are going to happen. And they're all my fault. And I don't deserve your help. I don't deserve it. If you give it to me, I'm eternally grateful. If you don't, I will never blame you. This is my fault that I'm in. And it breaks my heart that I've disappointed you. When it comes to Tomato Kings, I'm older than most of you. I should be the standard. And I'm not. Klimas, I owe you money, dude, when you helped me out. I fucked that up. I'm sorry, dude. And Jexus, you're like the most influential person in Tomato Kings right now. I fucked that up, dude. I fucked you over. There's a lot of other people. I'm disappointed in myself. But I feel like I'm so close to changing, and I don't want it to end like this, but if it has to, I deserve it. When KJ starts posting these videos, I'm gonna be a subscriber. And with Uber Anonymous, I have 1,500 videos on standby that I can't do anything with, and I hope that I see real humanity out of any Uber videos I see. I only did this because I didn't see it anywhere else. No matter what happens, I will be fine. This isn't a breakdown. This is a breakthrough. I will survive. If you guys help, great. If you don't, great. I am on God's path, and He will provide, no matter how it comes. I appreciate everything that you've done for me. And I look forward to seeing what's next. It is what it is.